Hey everybody, welcome. I'll entertain a motion to start the meeting, please.
So move, but
Um,
yeah, go ahead, Jeff.
okay. I move that the items on the meeting agenda constitute essential business of this committee. Meeting electronically is necessary to protect the health, safety, and welfare of Tennesseans considering the COVID-19 outbreak, and that any rule conflicting with governor's executive order permitting electronic meetings be suspended.
This is Mark Orbelock. I second it.
All right, any discussion? All in favor? Mark?
Present, and I approve.
Thanks. Jeff?
Present and approved.
Thanks. Ingrid just stepped away. And so, I don't know, can we call it a...
You should vote.
All right, I'm present. Will Conley and approve. Okay. So, welcome you all. Susie, looks like you just joined. Thank you, Susie, for putting together the agenda and sending out all the documents for this meeting today, and also for cleaning up the charter draft that we've been working on. I'm sure that was fun with all the red line.
What's even more fun is keeping track of the red line version and the clean up version as they come along.
Oh gosh.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
will you tell me something? Did I send that cleaned up version out earlier than today for you guys to review? I thought I had done that to give you time
Yes.
to look it over.
you did. Yep.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah. And so, yeah, the red lines are annoying, but also it shows how much work we've done on this. So it's pretty awesome. So now I'm looking at the agenda and when I get to the second item, which is the values and equity statement, if someone is willing to read that sucker, I'm happy to do it.
I'll read it. I'm looking at two computers, so it's not like I'm not part of the meeting. You ready for me to read it?
Yes, please.
We define racism as racial prejudice plus the misuse of power by systems and institutions. Misuse can be intentional or unintentional. We are mindful of the racial inequities across housing, economic mobility, healthcare, criminal justice, and other systems. These all contribute to racial inequities and homelessness. I pledge to stay mindful of the power and privilege that I bring into every space that I enter and conversation I have. I pledge to actively and intentionally practice anti-racism when participating in governance charter revision committee meetings, representing this committee and the COC in the community, and in talking about homelessness and housing issues in Nashville.
Thank you, Mark. And thanks, Susie, for putting that on the agenda. All right, the minutes from last meeting, entertain a motion to approve those.
I move approval.
Thank you, Mark.
Second.
Ingrid. Thanks, Jeff. Any discussion on the minutes or any corrections or anything like that? Okay. Let's see, we'll do a vote. Mark.
I approve, yes.
Thanks. Ingrid. You're muted, but I saw your lips moving.
I approve. I approve, yes.
All right. You communicate well non-verbally. And Jeff.
Approved.
All right. Thanks, Jeff, and I approve them too. Looks like Jonathan maybe just joined. Okay, awesome. We're moving through the agenda here.
We got to move him up as a panelist, if that's possible.
Michael, if you could do that, I might be able to do it. Now that I'm...
I think Michael has to do it.
Hey, Jonathan, welcome. We are now at the fourth agenda item, So this is just, now that we have this clean version, thanks to Sue's, if there are any other edits and things that we missed today, and I'll just open it up. Susie, do you want me to share my screen and make these? Or you look like you're in a spot, but anyway, how do you want to do this? Do you want me to share and make the changes?
That would be great if you don't. Sorry, my computer is completely on the fritz and just completely goes like turns off, and I don't want to be in the middle of the document and that happens.
Okay.
Hi, y'all. I'm sorry. This is Jonathan. I couldn't unmute myself, but I was here at the first vote and the second vote, so present and approve.
Thank you, Jonathan. And Mark and Ingrid, could you all mute when you're not talking, if you don't mind? Thank you. All right, I'm going to try to pull up the stock. Okay, can you all see that?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. This is the first time that I've shared something over WebEx, so I just found the controls, I think, to mute and unmute. All right, I'm just going to open it up to anyone who has any edits, and I will edit them in real time, or try to, or at least make a comment to do so after the meeting, so that we can have a version that we feel comfortable sharing to the public, if that's the next step.
I just want to say thanks to everyone who's put effort into this. It's a real pain in the butt to keep up with all these changes and stuff. So particularly, I guess, Susie and Jeff and Will, thank you.
And thanks to the rest of you guys. The two notes that keep on sort of appearing at the top from me and Ingrid, I did look through the document, and there are specifics about how to call a special meeting. So I think I can take that little notation off. And I think we're going to be given some language, especially as a result of a recent committee meeting and some sort of disturbance that went on there about assuring decorum at meetings and how to remove members of committees if that's absolute. So that's coming along. Anybody have any other comments about that one? We got to keep that there.
Yeah, just to give you an update on that, and I assume, oh, this is a public meeting. Okay, I'm not going to make a comment. I'm working on it.
Okay, thanks, you two. All right, I'm scrolling through. I had like a couple of little things, like just periods that were missing and little spacing. Trying to move. Anyway. Okay. Oh, I don't know if Jeff, if you could, or anyone really could respond to this, but like the purpose section, I read it and I was like, does this communicate the purpose of, like, what purpose are we communicating here? It just wasn't clear to me. Like the mission was great, and then it went into this like purpose section, which was a little strange to me, but maybe it needs to be there. I mean, I know, like, maybe it's just like the first sentence, but anyway.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. Scroll up just a little bit, Will. What is the section A? It's mission. You could call it overview, maybe. I mean, that paragraph really just says what policies we're going to follow and what we. Well, I mean, I guess it does have the purpose in the last paragraph. Consists of community partners dedicated to ending homelessness.
Okay, maybe I'll put. Is it okay if I put that at the beginning?
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yeah, I think that's fine.
All right. Thank you.
So I have a question. So I sort of think about when we say mission, I think of that as the mission statement. And back to your point, Will, the fact that we then have the second sentence, I don't know if we want to put it down as part of the purpose, if you want to put some sort of equity statement in that first paragraph under purpose, but I don't think it actually helps the mission statement.
Okay, so like incorporate the sucker. Gotcha.
Maybe that could become the second sentence under purpose.
Yeah, that's great. Good.
So, well, not there, Will. I would put it after the very first sentence.
Okay.
Right before the phrase "this charter."
Yeah.
Listen, we've been working on this for months. What in the heck are we doing here?
Okay.
It seems like this charter should be in the mission, since it's telling you what the purpose or the actual is it the mission, this charter, or is it the purpose? Where it says this charter sets out the composition, roles, responsibilities, and committee structure of the COC. Underneath purpose,
Yeah,
isn't that the mission?
Oh.
Or part of the mission?
Oh yeah. Well. Right.
So I think of a mission statement. The mission statement is one quick sentence, and it's really high level, and then you can certainly get into the purpose, the vision, and so forth, vision, values, etc. But one of the mission of Sony Corporation, not to bring for-profits, years ago I heard it was to be the best, provide the best electronic experience for customers. Period. And so that's what I think. So from a mission standpoint, if we were writing grants, we just want one sentence. Just
yeah. How is that, Jonathan? Or do you all mind if I? So like an introductory statement. It's kind of like, hey, this is the. Or no.
The initial introductory statement. I see what you're saying about just the one sentence, but yeah. So then in that case, the initial sentence you had there was fine because it says the mission clearly, and it points out.
I agree with Jonathan. I think that first
So
how
put
we
it
had
back.
it was
Okay.
So can I suggest, I mean, we have in the preamble, the last sentence of the preamble, this
Okay.
charter provides the overarching framework for how the Continuum of Care and Planning Council will work. Why don't we add this sentence about the charter to the end of the preamble?
That's great.
Okay. I hope I didn't just lose it there, but see my cutting and pasting skills. Okay, cool. All right, is that look good?
Yeah, just make it italicized to match the other language, but I think that makes sense. You could even make those last two sentences a separate preamble paragraph if you want, because they really focus on what this document is doing.
Okay.
And I'm glad you brought this up, Jonathan, because is it the purpose of the organization or the purpose of the charter?
Right. And I'm sorry, Will, I actually meant I would take the Metro Council sentence back up to the prior
Oh, my
paragraph.
bad. My bad. Yeah, I got you.
I'd start this with this charter provides.
Thanks.
Now we know why you've never had sharing privileges.
Oof, you guys. And also just italics trigger me for some reason. Can't stand
I'm
them.
just kidding. You're doing great. I'm just kidding.
Probably making you guys nauseous. Okay.
I move we continue with page 2.
All right. I'm just gonna let you guys call stuff out. But yeah, I did a little bit of just cosmetic work here.
I think we need to work on the 50%. That
Okay.
seems to be the main issue.
Yeah, how do we want to word this? So seems like, yeah, like we discussed this at the last meeting. There was some back and forth over email in between meetings, but it seems like the will of the membership committee, or the preference for the membership committee, is that we keep that in there. It seems like, unless you all object, I'm fine with that. I'm glad we had a big conversation about it.
And just
Yeah,
because
I think we made progress.
just because this it's being recorded for accuracy's sake, the membership committee was in favor of that, but then we did poll the actual general membership, the voting members, for their ideas, and by grand majority, they were interested in including that 50% attendance requirement. So not just the membership committee, but the general membership as well.
Yeah, I'm glad we did that.
One
think I'm
step
like-
forward, 2 steps back.
I think I was the one that wanted to take it out, so I obviously have my finger on the pulse of the COC. Anyway, so make reasonable efforts to attend. I don't know what 50. Well, it's not really everybody, right? So it's just the voting member.
It's just going to be attend 50% of the stakeholder meetings.
Okay. In here.
Well, but I think take out make reasonable efforts to, right? We just want to say attend.
Is that okay with you, Mark?
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay.
That's what I meant.
Okay.
Just a capital A and cross out make reasonable efforts to.
Okay. Ooh. Highlighting.
Sorry, now I'm gonna mess it up again. Okay, so the 50% attendance is to retain voting privileges, to become and remain a member. So this is, I'm sorry, I'm messing this thing. A member and not attend 50% of the meetings. It would be great for them to make reasonable efforts to do that. So when we get to voting privileges, that's where that 50% attendance of the meetings in the past 12 months requirement sits. This is just talking about remaining a member.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll want to start the sentence off with to retain voting privileges, comma.
Okay. Thanks. Oops. Okay. All right.
I have a stupid question. I hate to ask this. 50% of the stakeholder meetings, is that what an annual meeting is or whatever, semi-annual? I just don't know what stakeholder means. So is this, for example, this charter committee, is it a stakeholder meeting? Or is it, we just know that that's the broader COC?
You could actually put general membership meetings there, because stakeholder
Okay.
meetings is what you guys wanted to avoid in terms of cloudy language.
Is GM okay, or should I just spell it out? General membership.
We ought to do it, however, is that term defined?
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah, I would
Okay.
do GM. I would do GM meetings then.
Okay. All right. Okay. The HUD requires this. I'm just gonna take this out. This comment out. Is that okay, Suze? Add the HUD requires this. So this is, you're saying this is a requirement?
Semi-annual meetings, yes.
Okay. All right. Okay, I just had some cosmetic stuff here, like I just didn't, whatever, it's just like picky stuff, but I was like, don't think we need to capitalize everything. I'm just kind of making it consistent with the stuff at the top. And then Susie, does this one like, is this redundant? I feel like we have this persons with current and past lived experience of homelessness. And then we have representative of homelessness, high risk population. Are those two things the same to you all?
Yes.
Okay, I'm just gonna take this one out then. Okay. All right, someone direct me. Where do we need to go next? Does anyone have any edits or? I didn't really have anything else other than that cosmetic stuff, really. All right, here's a question.
This is because, I mean, as an example, this year, we're going to have probably a meeting in April and probably one in May to vote. So I think there will be years when you'll see more than 2 general meetings, general membership meetings. And so the second kind of confusing because then people expect there to only be 2 meetings and it just gets kind of weird. So I just wanted to see if you guys can chew on that one.
I like the next occurring. I think that's helpful. So you're saying we're going to have a COC meeting this month? Is it going to be electronic?
Yeah. We're going to try and invite the chairs of the committees to come and just talk about sort of what they're up to, as long as there's a sufficient number of chairs to do that. And one other agenda item that I kind of blanked on. But yeah. And as Abigail said, the order for electronic meetings to be okay expires at the end of April, and May be the meeting when in-person meetings begin, and so we're kind of prepping for that potential eventuality.
Well, instead of using next occurring, I would suggest we say election shall occur during the last occurring COC GM meeting of the year. Because we want it to be the last, the last meeting before the new calendar, the new Metro calendar begins, right?
Fiscal.
Well, but
Right.
you're talking about if there are open council seats. That's what this sentence is about.
Right. So if we want to fill them to start July 1, then we want our election to occur during the last. I think we take out second of 2 semi-annual and just say during the last occurring COC GM meeting of the fiscal year.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good. I like that.
Will, I would just say of the fiscal year instead of
Yeah.
years.
I think it does say that. It's hard to see the.
Oh, is it crossed out?
Yeah,
Sorry.
Yes, it's
it's all
crossed.
good. What about the next
I'm
sentence?
I'm trying to look at this tiny screen and look at the draft I have. Sorry.
If the elections cannot be held during the last occurring, should I make this?
Yes.
Okay. Cool beans.
I guess I'm wondering, in that same paragraph, this is where I got a little confused. The first sentence that you were looking at, that starts elections shall occur during. Shall we just take away if there are open HPC seats? Because every year there are open seats that have to be elected. That's where it got confusing to me, like if all of a sudden someone dropped off or was ejected or something like that. But every year you're going to have elections because people's seats will be open. Is there a way just to take away that last if there are open HPC seats?
I agree with that. If we were going to keep it, we would want the if there are at the front of the sentence.
Yeah.
I don't know if it makes sense or not. Do we need, I mean, I'm sure we don't, and I'm not trying to complicate things, but do we need to put anything in there around electronic voting, which we don't do? We have but what we do if we can't meet in person, which is deliver them to a human, our votes.
Yeah, you mean the ballots? I don't
Do we
think
need to put that in there, or it's already known? We already know that.
I don't know.
Minimums on checking and savings accounts.
What?
I don't know what that was.
It was just something we were talking about in nomination. Sorry.
No, it wasn't
I'm
you.
sorry, I'm not trying to muddy the waters.
No, Ingrid, though, there was like a weird, it was like someone's voice was, I heard someone's voice that wasn't on the call, I don't think. Anyway, yeah.
It was a banking ad of some sort.
Yeah, it wasn't you. We weren't laughing at you.
Oh, sorry. Thank
For-
God.
for
For
once.
once. Just kidding.
Right.
But I did just, I don't know, who knows how many more pandemics are we going to go through? Do we need to say if we need to vote and drop them ballots off at us? Also, it's fine if we don't. I just thought I'd mention it.
It's new. Let's send it out for public comment. And then
No,
maybe
just
put it out.
kidding. Don't do it. No, just forget I said anything. Sorry. Forget I
No,
even
it's
said
okay.
anything.
No, it's okay. I'm gonna punt that one, but all right. Anything else? I'm looking for comments that Susie put in here. Oh, all right. This is one that we've never really discussed. I think this comment has been in here for a while. So do we need to clarify what this means?
So this is just confusing to me because I'm on a lot of various nonprofit boards. The board chair always votes, and I don't understand why. Is this something that's always been part of the COC, that the chair is not allowed to vote? And I don't understand the idea behind it. They're a member, they've got rights to participate, but suddenly, no, I'm sorry, you're chair, you don't get to vote.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I guess that's been my experience too. That you're not restricted.
Yeah, I don't have any idea why
However,
that's.
you're heard, and the chair votes aye. I mean, I hear that all the time. This is not the
Yeah.
Metro Council where the vice mayor doesn't vote.
Yeah, I wonder. Susie, were we talking about
So
Were we talking about that the other day? And in terms of the abstention, did we have that conversation?
Yeah. We might have. My mind is a sieve, so we very well might have.
Well, it looks like what the explanation appears to come in the preceding paragraph. To avoid the appearance of any conflict when issues are voted upon, the officers of the HPC, to include the chair, vice chair, and secretary, should not represent the same type of constituencies. These officers shall be the liaisons between the HPC and the GM, which I guess is why they're not voting. But that seems to indicate that all three of them don't vote.
And they all have.
I think
this-
that sentence that you mentioned in that top paragraph under officers, Jeff, was talking about how to avoid conflicts, you want each of the three to have, like, if you had two of the three, for example, working in the mental health field, or if you had
I see.
all three of them working with youth or in business or whatever.
I see.
Want them to be broadly representative. Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense. So why don't we just delete this sentence under the under Planning Council chairperson?
Do you have any? Because some sort of metro rule of
Okay.
I don't think so. I don't recall why that was put in there.
Me neither.
I think it's an anachronism. We get rid of it.
So you may just take this sentence out under Planning Council chairperson, or should we say that they do have voting privileges, just to clarify, because we haven't been operating in that way? Leave something in. Okay. All right, I'm just going to say the council chairperson has voting privileges, period. That's
Well, to your point, Will, you could put it in where it says officers will be elected the month prior to the beginning of the year in which they will serve and have voting privileges.
Okay.
That just removes the ambiguity.
Yeah, I like that.
Yikes. Okay. Okay. Oops. Oh god.
Give a shout out to you, Suze, man, catching all these things. Wow.
I'm just leaving it like that. Okay.
I realize this is probably too late, and again, you can just forget that I even said this. There need to say anything about a conflict of interest anywhere around the officers? Or is that just assumed as the rest of, I mean, is that just covered in the conflict of interest statement, I guess?
I would think so, but I don't know. Attorneys. Yeah.
I don't really know. I mean, the question being, Ingrid, do we want to include like a full? I mean, it's not it's a conflict of interest in my view is not the kind of thing you can just address. I mean, if we're going to include something, it needs to be probably pretty developed. I don't know. I'm assuming we have, there's Metro conflict of interest provisions that govern our conduct in this committee. So I don't know that adding them here is necessary, but I can't say for sure. I've never seen the Metro conflict policy. I'm assuming there is one.
So we discussed this at length the last year when we were messing around with the charter, trying to redline it. And, on page 10, I think it's pretty clear that, I think it follows what Metro does with the other boards and commissions, where basically, if you get a conflict, you're not even allowed to discuss, offer your ideas, right? So you just sort of fade into, you just are silent. So I think we've got it covered. I mean, you can certainly take another look at page 10 and this whole section.
Yes.
But we worked pretty hard on this.
I trust that, Mark. Thank you so much.
Thanks, you all. Okay. So took care of page 9, I think, if you all agree. Looking for other comments here. Okay, we got a question on page 11, section 4. I guess, Susie, you're asking if we need to clarify this or give more guidance around what the expectation is or requirement. Do you all think we need to put, I should know that there's a 75% expectation for HPC members. But.
I mean, I think the clearer that we can be about it, the better. The less, I
Okay.
mean, in some situations, the less ambiguity, particularly for conflict, is helpful.
Could we say, I mean, would it be simpler to just say that, you know, the rules guiding or the rules governing the HPC in this charter likewise govern committees of the HPC? Maybe that's a simpler way to deal with it. And then we could include the reference to Robert's rules as a stopgap if needed.
Tell me, sorry, Jeff. Are you looking at? Yeah, can you just guide me a little bit more?
Yeah,
Please.
sorry. I'm looking at this question about attendance requirements.
Right.
The question is, do we want to include a 75% expectation? Well, we've already got all the expectations we have for the HPC in this charter. So
Right.
we could just say the provisions of this charter apply to the HPC's committees, just to make it
Right.
clear that all the expectations are the same, and then say, comma, but in the absence of specific guidance, Robert's Rules of Order govern business of the committee, or something along those lines, just to make it clear. We don't need to restate everything here, but just the general notion that the charter governs the committee operation just like it does the HPC operation.
So
Okay.
just if we could, I know you're trying to edit on the fly here. I think we want to retain the language, we may refer to Robert's rules rather than shall. Because,
I agree.
Okay. So should I put, where should that sentence go? Saying that
So I would suggest deleting this sentence all the way up to in the absence of specific guidance. And at the outset, just say, this charter governs committees of the HPC, comma, and in the absence, and just then say, and in the absence of the guidance, the committees may refer, and leave the sentence like it is. Does that work?
Thanks, Jeff.
I love it. Simplicity.
Awesome.
There's just, there is a little bit of a difference, and I look at Robert's rules often, although I do have it on my table back there. The homeless planning council members, even if they don't attend 75% of the meetings, which has happened, I know, the only way they can be kind of kicked off is via a process, and then the Metro Council has to be asked to remove them. Not the same for committee members. So, again, that's sort of, adds to some of the removal stuff for committee members, but those are their.
I think we're okay for now.
All right, thank you.
Okay. Scrolling along here.
Can you start humming again? That was very helpful.
Oh crap, we're recording. Okay. All right. You all have got 15 minutes left. What else do we need to address?
Well, I guess.
We'll still need to go in and
Yes.
put, I'm sorry, I don't want to interrupt you, Susie. Go ahead.
I'm sorry, I've got a delay on my unmute and mute buttons, and the next meeting date, and then again, there will be, I think, some proposed clarity on removal of committee members that will need to be considered at that meeting.
And the only other addition, just to remind us, I want us to make sure we put off to the side comments about why the changes were made, just to guide the reader.
Whoa. So, Mark, I I understand why you want to do that. I worry about, yeah, how to, we've made so many changes, like how are we gonna manage that, I guess.
Good point. I defer to you.
Perfect. All right. Okay.
What we might be able to do is get a list of the major changes that were made, and kind of like that in a few paragraphs.
Right.
We could put the cleaned up version and then both up. So if someone really wanted to see that made, they could do that. I think sort of justifying every change, I don't know about that. But
Yeah. I like a little, introductory paragraph kind of thing, highlighting the big ones.
And frankly, a lot of these changes are just trying to simplify language, clarify.
Yep.
right.
Hey,
And I think that sort of thing and movement of a paragraph where it belongs better, I just think that there doesn't have to be justification for that. But some of the other stuff might require some explanation, and we can make some bullet points about the major things that were added or modified.
okay. Hey, Jeff, did you have a comment? I thought I heard you. Yeah. But maybe not.
No, I did not. Will.
Okay. All right, so we need to wait on the removal language, Suze, before we send out a draft for public comment.
Yeah.
Okay. And when do you think you might? And if we, when do you think that might happen?
Well, Paula was dealing a little bit about it earlier. There was movement, just that, and then the disaster of the flood sort of took precedence. And so I'm hoping in the next 2 weeks, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Well, how about we'll keep in touch and then we can reach out. And is it okay just to reach out and schedule a meeting at that point?
Yeah. And then what I can do is take the corrections and the edits that were made today, fold them into the probably and then get a cleaned up copy out to all of you guys, just for another read by everybody. Any minor changes I can get via, it's not like major deliberation or decisions. If you got any minor changes or punctuation things that I need to affect, I can do that. And then we'll have the whole thing other than removal of committee members. language to deal with at the next meeting.
All right.
And I will have it, I'll send the decorum piece to you too to shoot out to everyone. I know that they're working on that for another larger group that leads the city as well. So I will I've been in contact with those folks.
Great.
Thanks, Ingrid. Thanks, Susie. All right. Anyone else? What am I missing? Let's see. The agenda. We got some next steps. All right. Well, thanks you all.
Technically, what we want to do is, at least before if there's going to be a meeting in June, there's going to be a meeting in May that will be at least a vote, and for presentation by the nominating committee of the nominees and a vote somehow. That may be in person, or it may be the kind of thing where you have to drop your ballot off like last time. So in terms of the timing for this thing, there is a 15-day public comment period that will be before the charter can be considered as under a vote with general membership. So we just gotta have to kind of figure out timing for all of this stuff so that it all gets done in time before July 1st.
Do you know when the May membership meeting is? Jeez.
It's the third Thursday.
Oh, right.
It is 20th.
Okay. So really, like, we need a meeting probably the week of the 26th, maybe April.
Yeah, it'd be really good to get it done, and then to have just one meeting, a meeting in May, be both the nominating, vote on the slate of nominees and the charter itself.
Yeah.
So we handle both of those in one meeting instead of having to have one in June.
Okay. How does the 26th look to you all at 10 o'clock? Really?
Sorry,
Really
I'm
anytime that
usually
day.
on a training. I'm usually on a training thing, or not training, but like our whatever from 2:30 to 4 every Monday.
Would 10 o'clock work like the same time today?
Are you talking about April 26th?
Sorry. Yep.
It won't work for me. I can do the afternoon, but I can't
Yeah.
do the morning.
And I'm sorry, I'm tied up all day April 26th, but
Okay. Not helpful. Not helpful.
Would the 27th work?
Yes.
Works for me after 30. You all
after when, Will?
10:30. We meet at 10:30 or later.
Yeah, I could do 11 o'clock on the 27th.
Okay, that sound good to Mark,
So we said 11.
Ingrid, and Jonathan. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, 11 on the 27th is what I'm hearing.
Hey, if I may, I'm wondering if that gives you guys enough time to review any comments that are submitted before having it to be voted on the 20th. Susie, do you remember if it's 15 business days or calendar days?
Yeah.
I think it's calendar.
Yeah, it's just 15. Yeah, calendars, not days. Page 16.
Good job, Mark. You've been keeping this by your bed.
So
What about you, Ingrid? Come on. That's gonna be nice and tight, but
It'll be tight,
doable.
but that gives you
yeah.
time.
Okay. All right, you all. Sorry, I lost you.
I'm pretty sure that the charter language allows for any minor corrections, even ones that might get made at the meeting itself, to be folded into the final, and that serve as the final that people vote on.
Okay. All
You're
right.
correct. It's a great sentence. Changes and amendments adopted during discussion deliberations during the meeting for which the final vote has been called are not subject to further public notice prior to the final vote.
Okay.
Feel good, Susie? Anybody else? Okay. All right. Thanks, you all. It's good to hang with you Monday morning.
You too. Appreciate
Thanks,
you.
everybody.
Happy Easter Monday. Good to see you.
Thanks all.
Bye.
Take care. Bye.
Bye.